Let's adjust this right there. Well, good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, August 13th. Hope everyone's doing well. I figured I'd go live this morning because I got a job interview later, as I just moved back to Florida, of course, as you guys know. So, wish me luck. Be praying for me. God's will be done through all that. But uh, I did want to come on just because I won't be able to do the Christian Ballard show at my normal time. I also didn't feel like necessarily messing around with doing an actual episode today. I just figured we go live and kind of go off the cuff a little bit, just talk up some college football and see how that goes. But so far, so good here. And yeah, I'm excited for the season. There's a lot to look forward to. We got some games coming up in 10 days. We got Fresno State and Kansas, which I think actually might end up being a good game. I would say that Stanford, Hawaii being the night game, and obviously the noon game in Ireland between Kansas State and Iowa State is going to be three marquee matchups. Why is Fresno State, Kansas, a marquee matchup in my opinion? Because Kansas and Lance Leipold are kind of on the upside right now, and Kansas has been in the gutter for a long time, and they need an opening win. And Fresno State is one of the better Group of Five teams. They were kind of on the radar as a Group of Five team to make the CFP last year with what they're doing. They always put out good linemen and some good wide receivers every once in a while in the NFL. I think so. It's going to be an interesting game there. Kansas is favored right now, according to ESPN Bet, by 12 and a half, which I think is pretty cool. Western Kentucky and Sam Houston could be okay. I don't really care too much about that. The line for Kansas State, Iowa State, and Ireland. I like Iowa State more than I like Kansas State, but I think Kansas State's a better team and a program. I just think to have a better year, I would pick Iowa State right now. That line, let's see, Kansas State by 3.5. Uh, I don't know, man. I see an upset brewing there a little bit, a small upset. Yeah, it's not the end of the world for Kansas State if they lose, and it's not, the biggest win in the world for Iowa State. So, and then you get into some Thursday and Friday games. Not too much on Thursday. Boise State goes to South Florida in Tampa. Raymond James Stadium could be fun. They're just up the road here. They say it's in Tampa. It's interesting. Technically, Raymond James, where the Bucks play, is actually in St. Petersburg, just outside of Tampa. So, fun fact there. Yeah, but they put it as Tampa anyway. I think it's like right on the city limits. It might be. I'm not sure. Alabama State UAB. UAB, I was going to go to school there. I still want to pull for them. Still want to pull for the Alabama teams at home. That could be good. The 9 o'clock game with Cincinnati and Nebraska. I don't know who's going to win that one. I mean, Dylan Rayola comes back for Nebraska. Um, Matt Rule's in there. This is a neutral site, I should say. 6.5 favors Nebraska over Cincinnati, so could be a close game. It opened at 7, so the line has dropped. Nebraska won their bowl game last year over Boston College, and Cincinnati lost at least their last 5 games last year. So not, you know, bowl eligible. I want to say they were like 4-8. I think they ended up like 4-8. They're not very good. But could they get an opening win? It's possible. I doubt it. I like Nebraska in that game, but there's a lot to love about both of those teams this year, I think, overall. And yeah, and then you go back on the schedule here. Let's see where we're at. This is August 28th. Go to schedule. I guess you get into Friday. Auburn and Baylor, and Colorado, Georgia Tech at 8 o'clock that night. Auburn favored by 2 on the road. Georgia Tech, interesting road favorites and home underdogs at the same time, and both are Big 12 teams. I like Auburn. I also like Georgia Tech, and I guess the media and the betting experts like them too. Um, but that could go either way. I always say to open the season, right? To open up the season, don't underestimate anybody, really, because anybody could win that week 1 matchup. Anybody could. It's just, can they put it together at the right time in the game, the whole game? Anybody can win it, but you got to play for 60 minutes. You got to play 4 quarters. Can Colorado do that over Georgia Tech? Can Baylor do that against Auburn? And vice versa. Can Auburn do it against Baylor on the road? Can they handle the tough environment? Georgia Tech goes to Boulder at night. That's a tough environment. It really is, especially with Deion Sanders being the head coach there. Um, that's I think it's almost a given that those are going to be close games. I like the road teams, both of them, Auburn and Georgia Tech. But at the same time, it's not something I would completely bet on. Now, if I had to pick between these 2 games, you say if you had to bet your life savings on either Georgia Tech on the road or Auburn on the road, and I'm not trying to be anti-Auburn here, but I would much rather bet my life savings on Georgia Tech to beat Colorado than I would Auburn to beat Baylor. I would think. You know, as much as I love Auburn this year. Now, I don't like Auburn to win the SEC, make the championship, or make the playoffs, but 7 wins, 8 wins, something like that, just to get back into bowl competition and bowl eligibility. I think Auburn's on the right track for that. I think they are. And then you get into all the Saturday games, and there's a ton to watch. The games with Penn State, Nevada, Georgia, Marshall, those are gimme games. Just take the question is, are they going to cover the spread? Are they going to run the score up? That's why you watch games like that. Same thing with like this South Dakota Iowa State game. Um, Louisville, Eastern Kentucky. I mean, these are teams, Indiana, Old Dominion. I doubt those teams lose. I'd even say that about Mississippi State and Southern Miss. Now, Southern Miss and Mississippi State kind of in the same boat here. Interesting in-state teams. This game at Southern Miss. I don't want to say it's a gimme game, but Mississippi State should go in there and win. But the big games, the noon games, Tennessee in Atlanta playing Syracuse in the Chick-fil-A or the Aflac, not the Chick-fil-A, the Aflac kickoff. And then, of course, Texas going to the Shoe to play the Buckeyes. Ohio State by 2.5. I like Texas in that game. I ooh, I feel like Ohio State's going to be a dangerous team though, but I don't think that they like. I could get them being top 5. Are they really the 3rd best team in the country? Because who did you start with? Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, and then Clemson or Bama is at number 4 or Georgia? There's a couple teams I would put Clemson and Georgia and Bama ahead of Ohio State. Now, there's so much I've talked about with the rankings this week that just stands out to me. Uh, and I don't want to get back into it necessarily, but at the same time, kind of have to, right? I mean, Texas and Penn State are the 2 best teams coming back. It's 1A, 1B, maybe 1 and then 2. And then you got 3A, 3B, whatever. Then the rest could fight for that 3rd best team in the AP top 25. Ohio State over Clemson. I like Clemson I wouldn't say I like Bama, but I like Clemson over Ohio State, and I think I like Georgia over Ohio State too. So Ohio State's in my top 5, but I probably wouldn't put them ahead of Clemson and Georgia. I think they also take scheduling into account. They do have a tough schedule. They take a lot into it, a lot in consideration when they make the rankings and everything. Um, but yeah, interesting games there coming up. Let's see. A lot of good teams playing, but not a lot of good matchups. Only a handful. Florida State, not a good team last year. They are at home. They host Alabama. I Let me see. I guess can we go ahead and preview these games? Can we go ahead and actually preview these games and I could clip these? I gotta get these out. Um, Let me see. Because I've given like early thoughts, but I haven't made a prediction on these. Let's start with Alabama, Florida State. I'm not doing tidal wave talk, by the way, my Alabama series. I'm just gonna straight up if it's a good Alabama game this year, I'm gonna predict it. I'm gonna predict like Florida State. Maybe I'll predict ULM, Georgia. I only predict ULM because I got tickets to that game. Iron Bowl. I don't know. I don't know. But let's preview some of these. Alabama, uh, Florida State, week 1 preview, and then I'll just go ahead and make a prediction. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with Alabama, Florida State. I'll clip some of these and we'll get into it. I'm gonna play one of my intros too, just so it's already there. But let's go in 3, 2. And you talk about these week 1 matchups. It's Christian Ballard, sports journalist at Ballard Sports Media. It's time to preview some of these. I probably should have started a week ago, but I've been moving and stuff. But you want to look at Alabama and Florida State. And by the way, I'm not doing tidal wave talk this year. I'm just going to straight up, if it's a good Alabama game, we'll preview it. We'll obviously get like Georgia, LSU, Auburn, Tennessee, the big ones. But this first game at Florida State coming off their worst season probably ever in program history, and Alabama coming off year 1 of the Kalen DeBoer era, returning Ryan Williams, just naming Ty Simpson as the starting quarterback. They opened as 11-point favorites, and the spread recently changed to 13 and a half. This is a 3:30 Eastern game in Tallahassee, a home and home. They'll play again next year in Tuscaloosa, but it's an interesting game here to watch week 1. And there's a couple different ones we got to look at. Clemson, LSU later, Georgia. Well, not Georgia, but Ohio State, Texas. I look at this game, and I think Alabama could uh could run away with it. I got them winning by like multiple touchdowns. I think Florida State's gonna be better than they were last year. I think they have to be. I really do. Um, I think that they're better than 2 and 10. The question for Florida State is, can they make a bowl game? If they really wanted to turn it around, they might win 10 games. But I wouldn't bet anything on that, nor do I think that's actually gonna happen. I see them at like 5 and 7. And I see Alabama at 10 and 2. I like Alabama to make the playoffs. I like them to get there by winning games like this. Now, it is going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough environment. Playing Tommy Castellanos is going to be an interesting battle with him at quarterback for FSU, Ty Simpson, a 5-star. He's got guys around him like Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams. This offense should be explosive. I expect a big win for the Crimson Tide week 1. I'm going to go 38-10. They win by 4 scores. Uh, Maybe a garbage time touchdown for Florida State, but I also just really believe in Alabama's defense this season. Now they lose guys like Malachi Moore, who was there for 5 years or whatever. They bring back LT Overton, Tim Keenan, James Smith. Bring in some transfers like Nakai Hill Green from Colorado, linebacker Justin Jefferson's a senior. I could go down the list. They got really good depth, and it's going to be fun to watch. Watch out for Xavier Brown in the backfield on defense and the secondary. Bray Hubbard, Jake Kirkpatrick Jr., whoever steps out there. I think there's some question marks as who's going to be in the starting lineup for Kane Womack, but I think overall it should be a good defense this year, and I think you'll see it play out ultimately in this week 1 matchup. All right. So I'll clip that. We'll call it my preview. What's up, Flamin'? Had to call in from work today. Simple call will bring a grown man to his knees. I hope you get better. What's up, Yoda? Yeah, it's early. And Sven, what's up, buddy? Hail State. Yeah, Hail State, man. Hail yeah. All right. So that's my Alabama Florida State preview. Consider it good. 38-10, week 1. What's another one we could preview? I guess I guess, Clemson, LSU. Let's go ahead and get some of these out of the way. Well, n oh, do I want to go ahead and preview okay, let me know in the comments. Ballard, you can't do that to the Noles. They need their money to pay $75,000,000 in 2030 to leave the ACC and not to buy out Norvell. Oh, they'll make their money in this game, trust me. Win or lose. All right, y'all pick Clemson, LSU, or Texas, Ohio State. Who should I look at next? Y'all let me know because I'm gonna look at both. I just don't know which one to do next. Those are both going to be good games too. Let's I, let's see. Clemson, LSU says Yoda T. I'm in. Let's go orange for Clemson, or should we do purple since both teams wear purple? I guess we could do that. Week 1 preview, and it's at Clemson. LSU at Clemson. I'll go ahead and pick a score. I know who's winning this game. I mean, it's obvious. It is so obvious who's winning this next game. And we got the big one Saturday night with Clemson and LSU on August 30th. We just kind of looked at Alabama, Florida State. You talk up ACC and SEC. This is two major programs today, historically, going head to head. Obviously Dabo's got 2 titles. Brian Kelly's at LSU, but LSU's had their fair share with Nick Saban, Les Miles, Ed Ogeron. They know what it takes to win a title. The first obstacle for both these teams is having to face each other. They have not met since LSU beat Clemson in the national title with Coach Ogeron in 2019, 42-25. I expect this to be a good game, low scoring almost. I don't know. I know who's going to win this. It's at Clemson. It's not even neutral site. Clemson's going to win this game. Number one, I just think they're a better team. They're higher ranked and they're at home. But number two, Brian Kelly has yet to win an opener at LSU. And I don't think that's necessarily going to make the seat get hot or anything. Um, because I mean, he's got a division title a couple years ago, and he's constantly making good bowl games, 9, 10 win seasons. He's recruiting out of his mind too. So he's doing everything but winning week one. Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik, there's a lot to love about the quarterbacks. There's a lot to love about what these guys have on defense. I like Clemson's defense with guys like Peter Woods. Uh, when you look at it, they got Will Height, uh, TJ Parker. I could go down the list. I mean, they're strong. They've always been good defensively. They kind of had a little bit of drop off since Brent Venables went to Oklahoma, leaving their defense, but he didn't leave it in shambles. He kind of left it in good hands, and Dabo, he just knows what it takes to win. I like Clemson as a big time playoff team. I think my top three teams this year would probably be Texas, Penn State, and Clemson. And overall, man, I cannot see LSU going on the road to the other Death Valley, and I mean, I just can't see them winning this game. I mean, I guess I could. It wouldn't be the biggest upset of the weekend. It wouldn't be the biggest shock, but by 10 points, and by the way, the spread's like 4.5. It might be a little closer than what I predict, but I like Clemson to pull away at the end. I think they just have better offense in control with Cade Klubnik. Um, I I don't know, man. There's something about Clemson this year, man. There just is. They got some receivers, um, Antonio Williams, Brian Wesco. I could go down the list there. Running game with Phil Maffa gone is going to be interesting. I don't know who it's going to be. They got a senior in Adam Randall. They got Jay Hayes. Gideon Davidson's a high recruit. David Eziomume, however you say it, I probably just butchered that, but they got depth at running back. We just got to see the run game play out. Hopefully, their own line's improved. I think it is. That being said, give me Clemson a win by 10, 27-17. It could be a little closer. It might be worse than that on LSU. I mean, Clemson might be able to score at will. I haven't seen a good defense from LSU since Brian Kelly got there, which is kind of impressive because he had all the defense in the world at Notre Dame. Then he gets to LSU, he can't do it, and it's all offense. He did get a Heisman winner in Jade Daniels. Garrett Nussmeier comes in, great quarterback, very mobile, calm in the pocket, strong arm, great athleticism. And I say all that about Cade Klubnik too. I'm going to go 27-17. LSU losing again in the first week of the season. Does it put Brian Kelly on a hot seat? I don't think so, but I know the LSU fans probably get sick and tired of losing these week one matchups. Now, LSU is going to go on and try to compete for the SEC title. And they'll be one of the top teams in the SEC. And Clemson, obviously, alongside teams like SMU, Miami, whoever, maybe Syracuse. I'm high on Syracuse. They'll be in the running for the ACC and most likely the champions of that conference this year in 2025. All right, so clip that one too. I'm getting my previews out here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and do all that. uh, my phone's over there. Yeah. What do y'all think? Spen says Kelly wasted Jade Daniels and Malik Neighbors on one team. If that defense is only 50th, they are in the Natty game. I agree. Dude, if they just got their defense ranked a little bit higher, I agree. They're in the Natty or in the playoffs. At least in the playoffs. Georgia that year when they made the SEC title, what was it, 50 to 30? 30 points on Georgia's defense is not bad. You gave up 50 to Georgia. Oh, Georgia's a powerhouse. Georgia's good. Wait. It's the SEC title. You don't give up 50 points in an SEC title game or any conference title game. You just don't, man. It's terrible. It's god awful. It still is. I don't buy it this year. I mean, I might like it to be better, but it's not going to be a premier defense for LSU. It's just not. And they've had good talent on that defense, but the coaching is abysmal. Terrible, man. Terrible. Don't even get me started. I mean, it's like Oklahoma bad or Big 12 bad. I don't want to say Oklahoma. I mean, Brent Venables is figuring that out a little, but my gosh. So what did we predict? We did Alabama, Florida State. We did Clemson, LSU. That's two. Let's I'll do one more. That game was over by halftime. Yeah. Let's see. I guess let's talk up should we do Texas Ohio State? Should we do it? Huh? Let's do it, man. Let me set the banners and pull it up, and it's at Ohio State, mind you. I need to come up with a good score. I'm you want to do gray? Let's see. We do gray. Gray might work for this. What's up, SO? How you doing? Oh, 34-17. Yeah. Yeah, then we finally look at Ohio State and Texas. Sven says 34-17 Ohio State. I guess I could see that. I don't know, man. I like Ohio State's defense this year, but I love Texas. I really do. Now, I don't know who I'm gonna pick to necessarily win this game yet. Well, I kinda do. I think it might be an obvious choice, but Texas and Ohio State week 1. Who comes in favored? Ohio State by 2.5? Uh, I don't I don't know, man. Ohio State, I give the edge defensively. I give the edge offensively to Texas. I still believe defense wins championships. Ohio State still has Caleb Downs at safety. You got Arch Manning coming in for Texas, and Will Howard goes in the draft. I forget who drafted him. The Steelers? The Steelers get him or somebody? Uh, but Julian Sayin comes in for Ohio State. They it's gonna be fun to watch, man. Quinshon Judkins went to the Browns. I'm curious about Ohio State's run game because Travion Henderson went to the Patriots too. So Emeka Bukas with the Bucks. Jeremiah Smith comes back. I don't know where's Carnell Tate still there. So you'll have some receivers. Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams are the two best wide receivers in college football. Them's facts. Uh, I like this game. I think they made the right choice going there to Columbus for college game day. I'm sure Big Noon's going to be there. It is a big noon kickoff game. There's a lot to love about both of these teams. Both are probably going to be in the playoffs this year. I would bet on it. I like these teams to possibly win their conference. I think Ohio State gets over the Michigan hump, but that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about it later. I like Texas in the SEC. I just this is going to be really good, really good matchup. Great offenses go head to head, but don't look the defenses that these teams have. I mean, even Texas. We go back here. Even Texas has some defense, and they've never really been known to have that, at least in recent history, because of the Big 12. But it is interesting to see what they have. They had Anthony Hill last year. Um, when you look now at they got a senior Cole Brevard is a defensive lineman. Isaiah Coleman's a freshman. They've recruited great on that side of the ball recently. Justice Terry's a freshman. Maybe he gets in there. Ethan Burke comes back. He's a guy that made a little bit of noise at linebacker with 2 sacks. Anthony Hill's back as their lead tackler, leader in sacks. Number 0, a linebacker who's coming back for his junior year. There, I don't know, man. I like this is a dangerous game to pick because like, okay, can we agree this? Oh, Ballard, since when is Texas an SEC team? Since they joined the conference last year, I don't know. But can we agree on this game that this is the one you don't want to bet? There's no right or wrong answer here. Both teams are great. It's practically game of the century type game here. Now, yes, they put it at 1-3. I understand that. These might be the two of the best teams in college football. Now, I also like Penn State at 2. I get that. I think Texas should be the favorite, and I like Penn State behind them. Then I like Ohio State. But you talk about offenses. I think the only thing keeping Penn State at 2 right now is their defense. That's my personal opinion. Um, I mean, if it wasn't for defense, Ohio State would jump up to 2. If it wasn't for Penn State's defense, Ohio State would be at 2. But because Penn State's got that defense, and I'm not trying to say this to dog on Penn State. I love Penn State. I love my grandparents and all that. But come on. They return so much there. Plus, they got Drew Aller. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent I don't need to get off on. We're talking about Texas, Ohio State. Great quarterback play. Going to be great. Both these teams are going to be young at receiver, young on defense, I think. There's still a lot of good experience on both teams defensively. You're going to see that play out in week 1 that they're going to make some mistakes. It's a 2.5 point spread favoring the Buckeyes. I like them, and I like the points. I would like to see Texas win, but my gut says Ohio State's gonna win at the shoe. I'm gonna say a shootout, not too high scoring, 35-31 is what I got. Ohio State gets a defensive stop on Texas, in this week 1 matchup. That or more likely, the Ohio State Buckeyes defense comes through. Caleb Downs, looking at you, buddy. I know you left Alabama, but you're still talented. You're still really good. I can't wait to see what he does this year, man. He's going to be a top pick in next year's draft. It is amazing the talent on display here at this game. And it's a home and home too. We'll have it next year. Maybe Texas gets Ohio State in a revenge game, but I can't see much of Ohio State. You know, I can't see this game being out of hand, and I don't know. Oh, You know how hard this is to pick? I'm taking my gut, and I'm going with Ohio State. I am. Sonny Styles comes back at linebacker. I mean, Lorenzo Styles, Bryce West. There's so much. Caleb Downs. Oh my gosh. They're going to be good. I think they'll be all right. Both teams will have a great season. Might see this rematch in the playoffs. Heck, they met last year in the playoffs, and Ohio State won by 14. I don't think it's going to be that bad in week one, but at the same time, I just, it's not that I don't trust Texas. I just, when in doubt, you know my saying, take the home team. Crowd noise means a lot, and the fans mean a lot in college football. It's going to be more scarlet and gray than burnt orange. I could tell you that. Right. I've done enough previews for today. Now, what's Sven crying about? I love you, Sven. I'm just joking with you. I know you're not crying or nothing, but uh Ballard, listen. Look here. Listen. Listen. Texas played three good teams last year. UGA, Arizona State, Ohio State. Tell me where the defense was against those teams. Fair point. Yes, you could beat up on State or Florida, but against elite. Texas got blown out by UGA, lucked up one big time against Scatterbo and got smoked by Ohio State. Defense is way overrated. It was last year, I agree, and it might be this year. I like I say, man, I'm taking a close one. I am taking Ohio State. That I mean, like I'm not. I know what I talked up about Texas's defense. All I was trying to get at was compared to when it was in the Big 12 early on. You go back to the previous head coach. Who was it? I don't know, but before Sarkisian, like, dude, it was atrocious. It's never been elite. It's never been good. But I think it's improved this year for sure. It's got to be, man. It just has to be. You gotta get better. Yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm lost on Texas right now. The point is, they're good today. They are. They're not bad, but um, oh man, something in my throat this morning. I don't know. Take the wrench away, don't wanna be a mod alright, if you say so, bud, I'm just trying to help you out. I reset the moderators, so I don't know who all is a mod and not. I did that a couple months ago. Remove as standard moderator. Alright. Ugh. Anyway, I think I've said all I wanted to say. I'll, I don't know. I can't be on, like, all day, all morning. I got a job interview later, but I'm tempted to drop the link, but I'm afraid it'll go too long. I don't know. Most interesting game, week 1 is Syracuse and the Vols. That is an interesting game. And I'm with you, Syracuse is a good team. They bring a lot back. Did lose Kyle McCord, I think. Yeah, he got picked up somewhere in the draft, I thought. Anyway, Syracuse, Fran Brown's doing really, really good right now. And Tennessee with Joey Aguilar, we got to see what they look like. I don't trust them yet. I don't know if I will. I'm not sure. I don't know. But yeah, Syracuse, Tennessee will be a good one. That's a noon game. That is at the same time as Texas, Ohio State. You would think I would probably make that like our night game. Because the night game is Clemson LSU. Um, well, I guess you got too many good matchups to have two night games. I don't know. You'll have a couple other good ones, probably, but the marquee is LSU Clemson. So, what is this? Mm, yeah, I've run out of stuff to talk about. I I guess we'll call it a stream. Um, I'll try to clip those previews and get them out within the next couple weeks. By the way, Ballard, if you are on work, you should do your job, not making streams. That's what the old man tells you. Yeah, I have been told that. Yeah. Keep me in your thoughts and prayers too. I do have an interview today. Won't say where. Um oh, you're the old man. You're near 60. Oh, okay. That's cool. I didn't realize you were that up in age. I don't know. I've never seen you, Sven. I've heard your voice. I've only heard you on audio. I don't know why I figured you were like 30s or 40s for some reason. I don't know why, but I did. Celine is 1 year older than me. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for stopping in, Sven. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here too, buddy. I love and appreciate all of you. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a blessed Wednesday. Jesus loves you. And from a Bama fan, roll tide. I'll see y'all later.
Roll Tide!